10 feet away. There's 30. All right, let's unbox this. This is where I'm at so far. Got a larger box, 8 smaller ones. I presume those are cameras. I've got some documentation here. And then check it out. It comes with 8 lengths of 60 feet of Cat 5e cable already made up. That is a really nice touch. Inside this larger box is the NVR. Came with a power cord, mouse, some little screws, a little 3M pad, an Ethernet cable. The front just has some status lights on it, and we've got a USB port here on the front. We've got our 16 PoE ports. There's our main Ethernet. We have an audio out interface, which is pretty cool. Ancient VGA. Terminal block there seems to be for alarms. And we've got the HDMI output, USB 3.0, and power switch. And then in the camera box, we obviously have the camera itself. It's got 2 options for power. Got a mounting template, the Ethernet cable waterproofing kit, and some mounting hardware. Excuse the baby's toys here, but this is the most convenient location to hook this NVR up at. So we've got the power cable, this Ethernet line from the camera, and we're going to put that into port 1. Next, I'm going to take the cable from the internet itself, and we'll put it into the main Ethernet jack right there. Got the mouse right here, and it's going to go in the USB port here. Now, something that is interesting is notice that this USB port is USB 3.0, so it's blue in color. This front USB is only USB 2.0. So if I'm transferring 4K video files, I think I'd much rather transfer them via the 3.0 cable back here as opposed to the front one, because it would go a lot faster. I think they should make a swap, personally, because I'd rather have access to a 3.0 port here on the front to plug a flash drive into to download footage, and then have just the 2.0 for the mouse, because you don't need anything more than that on the back. Or better still, give us a 3.0 and 2.0 on the back here, and then a 3.0 on the front. But anyway, it is what it is, and today I'm going to hook the mouse up to the back USB port. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and hook up the HDMI. And we'll just go ahead and flip the power on. Okay, so I want to mount this like this to the bottom of this temporary installation situation. You'll see why I'm doing this to compare with an existing security camera system I've got installed on the house, and want to, just for fun, compare them side by side. Anyway, one potential issue I see is, notice there's some screw holes and stuff for mounting, but there's no way to allow this cord space to come out. There's no chase for that cord to come out. It's all solid, so if I screw this down, that cord is going to get pinched. It looks to me like there's like these little knockouts here, so I'm going to see if I can just wiggle one of those loose with some pliers and be able to get the cord out. Okay, so I'm just going to take these pointy vice grips here, and I'm just going to see, oh yeah, that came out super easily. So you can just break off one of those knockouts, and the wire will have a perfect place to travel. Okay, when you're installing these in a potentially wet location, waterproofing the Ethernet cables is a good idea. So the camera comes with all that you need. So first I'm going to take this ring. It just fits over this end so that there's something to seal against here. Okay. Then you take this ring right here, and we're going to feed it over the Ethernet cable. This little unit right here has a slit cut in it. I don't know if you can see that. So that's just going to go around the cable like that. And then this little sleeve with those little pokey ends, it faces down. So once again, you just feed the cable through that. Okay. And then this little rubber thing goes in those little pokey things. And what I like to do is get this started, but don't cinch it down yet, because I need to be able to slide this forward. So then I'm going to go ahead and plug the Ethernet cable in, and then slide this up, and then it twists on like that, and seats against that washer there. So that's watertight. Make sure that rubber is seated there, and I'll just go ahead and tighten this up. And that's going to cinch that rubber down on the back, and it protects that connection inside. Very, very easy and slick. Looks like they provide a little cap for this DC plug, so we're going to cover that up too. Please excuse the wind. It's a little bit breezy today, and it's going to blow my sign around a little bit. But we're going to check the daytime text reading performance of these security cameras. So I've got my Real-Link camera as one view. I've got the Onwote camera as the other, and then I have the actual camera I used to film these videos as another. All three are filming in 4K. What you're looking at right now is the sign at about 5 feet away. That is 10 feet away. That is 20 feet away. That's close to my 30-foot mark right there. And right past this wall right here is my 40-foot mark. So that's daytime performance This is nighttime text reading testing. I purposefully covered up the infrared lights on each of the security cameras for their respective views. So you're only getting the infrared light from the actual camera. This is at 5 feet away. There's 10, there's approximately 20, there's 30, and there's 40. I'm just playing with this infrared setting here because it is very, very bright. I've got my other camera completely blocked off, so I'm not getting any extra infrared directly from it. And you can see if I adjust this slider right here, it does seem to increase the brightness, but near unto impossible to read those letters still. So I would say if you want a crazy powerful night vision, these are the cameras to get, but it could potentially be too powerful for things like license plates, and this is just a piece of paper. It's not even a reflective license plate that would be even brighter than that. This is me facing toward the camera, speaking very, very close. This is me turned 90 degrees away from the camera, speaking. And this is me turned 180 degrees away from the camera, speaking. Alright, we've got this NVR hooked up, and let's just go through the setup. So English, that's good. Alright, password, this will just be default. Set a new password here. Okay, now we could set up a pattern to unlock. I'm just going to skip that for now. Here we're able to configure the date. So as you can see, we've got up to 16 channels available for viewing. We double click on the camera, we can see its full screen view. Very, very nice image quality. We've got PTZ controls if this is a PTZ camera, but it's not. Start local recording. Digital zoom. This is nice. Oh wow, that's way too far. We can adjust the image, brightness here. We can increase the saturation. There's a bunch of settings. Change the contrast. Obviously, I'm making this worse. I'm gonna leave it all at the defaults. You can take a snapshot. OSD. Oh, cool. So here you can change the name. Enter. We can change how the date appears. And you can change the font size. You can blow it up so it's bigger. You can see it down here in the bottom right corner as well as the upper corner. And then this is pretty cool. You can pick up and drag the text box. And that's sweet. No other camera has had that. Usually it just has like specific location. And I love the flexibility of being able to just click and drag your text box wherever. That is very convenient. You can do audio communication. We'll test that here in a minute. You can adjust the volume of the camera. If this had a light or siren, you could enable it here, but this camera doesn't, which is actually how I prefer it. And then here it gives you your information. We're going at 20 frames per second, 3.64 megabits per second. What you're seeing this on right now is a 4K TV, and it's looking very, very nice. Down here at the bottom, you can configure multi-window. You could change it to 4, didn't need all 16, etc. You got quick access to this called Start Sequence. We can jump right into playback. We can get the QR code for the app right over here. We can get the camera information, and then we can get the network information, all in this lower menu down here. Now, if you right-click, there's some shortcuts to various settings. I'm not going to go through all of these because they're all in the menu that I'm about to go through right now. In here, you're able to see the status of your various cameras. We can go here to encoding, and we can set how it records main and substream. My cameras don't support this audio configuration thing. However, they do have audio on them. You can configure your snapshot settings here. Here, you're able to control your infrared lights, and then we can adjust our brightness, saturation, etc. here. We can adjust the exposure here, white balance. I'm just going to leave everything default. Here's your privacy mask. So if we didn't want to see a certain area, so let's say we didn't want to see my neighbor's roof, we can go ahead and stick that there, hit apply, and you can see that it has masked that off. VCA config, this is your smart parameters. Here's your backup time. Select this camera, we'll just leave everything in all. We'll go ahead and search up the footage. There we are. And we can easily select what one we want to back up and hit backup, and it will go to my a flash drive or something like that. We're able to change, when it records. Maybe you only want it to record for an event or motion or something like that. I personally like 24/7 recording. Here we've got the hard drive. We can see that it's almost a full 4 terabytes of space. Under alarm here, we're able to set different alarms to trigger. So it will leave everything on the default there. This is kind of cool. We have a total of 240 watts power available to us. Where we've only got one channel used, so we have 237. That's pretty cool that it lets you know how much power you've got to remaining. And that's basically the NVR setup in a nutshell. Really, really sweet. Okay, we're in the app now, but we need to somehow add the NVR to this. So let's see how to do that. Let's go ahead and add a device. Okay, so we're going to scan a QR code. So just open the NVR, go to Network, Basic, click on the P2P, and that gives you this big QR code, and that's what we need right there. We're going to call this NVR. We'll hit the little save button. And for some reason, the device is offline. Okay, I figured it out. It's actually quite simple. So we'll go ahead and add, scan, and call it NVR. And then instead of hitting the save button, hit the Start Live View button down at the bottom there. And then it works. You can change your image quality here, PTZ controls if we had a PTZ camera. And then aside from live views, you can come back here to playback. Here's me testing text reading ability. You can see that it's detecting my motion. You can come through here and sort. So let's just say motion detection only. It looks like I haven't configured that in the settings. To put a marker at that, so we'll need to do that. It's a whole heck of a lot better than a lot of apps I've used. Would I say it's the best security camera app I've ever used? Probably not at this point, but it certainly has the makings of a great app. And it's certainly sufficient to get you the basics for this camera setup. I'm going to leave a link for these down in the description below. You can see at the time making this video, it's selling for a very compelling price. And don't forget that includes all of the cabling, it includes the NVR, it includes the hard drive. Many additional companies upcharge you to add a hard drive. It already comes included with this. I think for the price and what you get, Onwote has really knocked it out of the park. If you want a camera that just lights up the night like crazy, look no further than this. Maybe a little bit bright for certain applications, or trying to read license plates, etc., so be aware of that. The software on the NVR as well as the app is good. It's not amazing yet. I think they can definitely improve upon that. But at the price point, it gives you a lot of what you need. Those are my thoughts. Hope the testing was helpful to you. If you can't tell, these videos take a lot of time and effort to make and edit. If that's of value to you, please do 4 things. Like the video, comment, subscribe, and share. 4 100% free things for you to do, but it benefits the channel tremendously. I would really appreciate it, you guys. Hope you stay safe. Hopefully you'll stay even safer with a nice set of security cameras, and we'll catch y'all next time.